Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 17, like that. I already watched today's episodes 15 and 16. If you want to see my reaction videos about it, I'm gonna put the links into the eye. I'm gonna put the link also for the playlist that I made for My Hero Academia in case that you want to watch all of these reaction videos into the chronological order. You have them all right there. Okay guys, to say that I'm nervous, I think that it's not enough to describe right now what I'm feeling about the situation with Iida, who is hurt, badly hurt, on the floor. He can't move. He wanted his revenge against Ten, you know, that villain who hurt his brother, but he can't have it. But still, he has his guys, you know, he has Deku and Todoroki who are right there to protect him, and they are great, but are they strong enough to resist against Ten until other heroes are gonna come, other heroes who are already occupied with 3 Nomus, I mean 2 now, Nomus attacking that city also because these 2 villains decided to have some fun and to attack it, because they are also after, you know, against Stain, because Stain decided to not join them, and because the master created 6 Nomus. All of that, guys, like, we had a lot of information during the 2 previous episodes, and I didn't expect to have so many. A lot about the Nomus, you know, the fact that they are created and all, we knew it, but the fact that the Nomu that they arrested, in fact, it's 4 DNAs of 4 different people, you know, that they found inside of that body, and that body, it was the one of a thug, you know, who disappeared in a sort of way. Like, we can understand by that this guy was taken by this master who made stuff with his body, who merged, you know, 4 different people inside of it with 4 different quirks to be really against All Might, to be anti-All Might. That awful already, and it made me sad for that guy. So right there, these 3 other Nomus, we have to consider that it's the same for them, and the 3 other ones, it's also the same. It's bad. And we learned also some other stuff like that, like, for example, for Todoroki, the reason why he joined this internship with his father, I thought that it was to be able to really control his left side, you know, learn more from him, you know, for that. But in fact, he joined his father because, yes, his father is the second best hero into that country, so it's great to learn from him, and he guessed, you know, hand over that something would happen in Osu, so he was clever right there. And why Todoroki, he could take that decision, you know, to only think about himself and to not think about, oh, my dad is gonna be proud of it, you know, and all, and to just let him be proud, you know, on his own, and to just do stuff for himself to be a better hero at the end. It's because of the fact that he talked with his mom, and we learned not what they said to each other, but how she reacted, and the fact that it went well and it ended well, and it's cool, it's really cool. And we had also other flashbacks during the previous episodes with Iida and his brother, and the fact that his brother was so humble, so nice, and he wanted to be a good hero, and he wanted to be a good example for Iida. And you know, I'm wondering about that because before that we never really met his brother, so I had no opinion about him. Seeing these flashbacks, I was like, okay, so you're really a good guy. But Stain, we know that Stain, he wants to attack, to kill, to hurt heroes who are not perfect according to him, meaning, you know, heroes who would do all of that for money, heroes who would do bad stuff. Like for example, Iida, he considers that right there, Iida is going on a personal revenge, so he's not using his quirk for the citizens, you know, the society, for the public. So it's not right at all, it's illegal, so Iida deserves to be punished according to him. So I'm wondering like what Iida's brother did to be targeted like that by Stain. I'm wondering about it. I don't know if we're gonna have the answer about it, but I'm wondering about it. And yes, right there, Iida, I hope that he understood what Todoroki told him, and I cried also during that moment when Todoroki thought about Iida. Like, for Todoroki to care about Iida, about what happened to Iida before and how it could impact him, and to connect with that, you know, emotionally, and to care about it, it surprised me because now not really friends, close, these two. So that was cool to know that Todoroki is thinking like that, you know, about Iida, and he wants to help, and he can understand the situation, and Iida to hear all of that. I hope that it helped him, you know, to understand the situation. But right there, we have our two guys against this villain, and even if they are strong, these two won, you know, indeed at the final of the festival, and the other one now knows how to use his quirk. You know, Iida, he saw that and he was surprised by it, but I'm not sure that he understood it, and Todoroki same. But right there, how he's using his quirk now, Deku, it's really different, and it's really close to how Might is fighting, so maybe it's gonna give them, you know, more clues about who is truly, at least what his quirk is now. We'll see about it. But first we need to end all of these fights, in fact, against the three Nomus, against 10. I hope that it's gonna happen during this episode, you know, that we're gonna end everything during this episode. Because I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to watch really one more episode, we'll see. That's big episodes! I didn't expect these episodes to be that big. For the previous episode, be sure that on my Patreon I'm gonna put the full reaction part, and if this one is the same, for sure I'm gonna put the full reaction part also. Let's go for this episode. If you want this full reaction part or this extended reaction part, it's on my Patreon. You have 4 episodes of advance on my Patreon, which means 2 weeks of advance on my Patreon. It can be really interesting, and I'm giving all of these advantages, you know, to you guys on my Patreon to encourage you to join me on my Patreon, because I'm a little reactor, so to have your support, it's not just cool, you know, it's also really useful for me into my life and all of that. So if you want to support me, come on my Patreon and you have all of these advantages. And I organize also live sessions, I'm making drawings, I'm sending you letters. I do a lot of things for you guys, in fact, on my Patreon. Let's go for this episode. I'm scared. I have still my tissue just right there waiting for me, just in case. Come on, let's go. You're so proud of him. I want for you to be yourself, find yourself. You need to save people. The revenge. Anyway, what's the music? A true hero is going to help the weakest people. It's gonna be a better hero than you? Oh no, if someone is not immature, it's really you, like, just right there you were blinded by your rage. Careful. Please. Save them! Get out! No, 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 I understood. I swear I understood. Right there he is. For all of the rest is not, but right there he is. You swear. No! They're not gonna give up on you. In fact, yes, one by one you can take all of you, but all together. Iida! Iida! Your health has... Oh, What? Just of you. It worked? It worked or not? I don't need to go back, I need to move on. He does. Oh, the music. Okay. You told him. I was waiting for you to say that. To call Deku my friend. Block him with the ice. Iida. Yes. He's killed or he's blocked. You did it with your friends. You did it. Okay. Thank you. I don't want to thank Hamburger. What's the music? Since the beginning of this fight, the music in each scene is amazing. Okay, the third Nomu, the last villain right there. Is that great? It's not a surprise that he's that great, but I'm not impressed.
3対1の上にこいつ自身のミスがあってギリギリ勝てた。ラストイーダのレシピはともかく緑谷の動きに対応がなかった。
Iida.
グラントリだ。
Yep.
新幹線で座ってるって言ったろ。
See who they got? They're gonna become so popular when everyone is gonna know.
そっくりだな。この辺だ。まさか火起こし。何？すぐ警察の連絡だ。
I'm so proud. And I'm so glad it's finished. He needs help.
それまで。2人とも僕のせいで傷を負わせた。
Because of Stain. You're gonna make me cry again.
僕もごめんね。君があそこまで追い詰めてたのに。友達なのに。しっかりしてくれよ。委員長だろ。
To remind him that no.
ヒーロー殺しとの戦いは時間で言えばほんの10分ぐらいだったと思う。
And you used your power during 10 minutes. One of the new moves. He recognized Deku? Fuck! He's gonna kill the Nomu and save Deku. Because he saw that he's a true hero. You want to face Andover. Oh, you know how bad Andover is. Okay, not just Andover. Because you admire him, his way of thinking, of being a hero, and you don't want to try to kill him.
気を失ってる。この時、ヒーロー殺しはポリタのコスが肺に刺さっていたそうだ。
Yes?
ヒーロー殺しだけが確かに相手に立ち向かっていた。
Already? It lasted for 5 minutes this episode? No? No, I don't see. 20 minutes. This episode lasted for 20 minutes. For me, it was 5 minutes. Like the intensity of it, I was so much into it, it lasted for 5 minutes for me. So many things to process. Wait a minute. When I don't even remember how I felt, during one episode, that this episode was big and so many things happened into it, that for sure I'm gonna put the 4 action part on my Patreon, and that also it's gonna demand me a little time, to just try to remember what happened and how I felt. I cried during this episode, no? I have the impression that I cried, but I don't even remember. It was just some minutes ago and I don't even remember. Because it was so many different emotions that, it's exhausting also for me to feel all of that and to be that much into it. It's intense, For an emotional person like me, and again I'm saying it each time, I was diagnosed like that. I'm an emotional person, meaning that I don't have little emotions, when I'm feeling something, I'm feeling it with all of my body, everything, and into my regular life, people are seeing really just 5% of my emotions, because inside, like outside, I'm a little mad, like, oh no, don't do that. Inside, I want to burn people. Outside, I'm crying because I'm sad. Inside, it's the end of the world, I'm depressed as hell, I think that it's the end of my life. So really, I'm feeling emotions really in an intense way, so when I'm feeling so many emotions during 20 minutes, apparently, You know, so many emotions, it's a lot to take, and yes, at the end, I don't even remember all of my emotions, you know. And I have to try to understand them again. Iida intervened into the fight, understood what Todoroki said, what they all said, that Stain was right in a way with the fact that going on a personal revenge it was not okay, and that he has to act to protect his friends right there. Both of them, Iida and Todoroki, intervened at the same time to stop him, and that parallel, you know, between these two, what they were doing during that moment, one with his leg, one with his fist, that was so cool. How it was done, it was so cool. And they managed to have him, so Todoroki managed to block him. The three of them, three students, first year, you know, they managed to stop a villain, to arrest a villain like Stain. It's a big villain. How many heroes he killed again? Like 17, and he hurt badly 23 of them, for what I remember. And 3 students right there managed to block him, to arrest him. I felt so proud. And the fact that the other heroes, they saw that, that's so great. And if it would have continued like that, you know, Stain being arrested, imagine, it means that all of the newspapers and all, they would have talked about the 3 students who arrested that big villain, and they would have become, you know, really popular, and people would have talked about them. It could have helped them, you know, to become a hero, you know, for the future. Imagine Bakugo, the face of Bakugo, seeing these 3 on the newspaper and all. Oh, it would have been so great. I swear that during that moment, I had the time to imagine all of that. That's how fast, you know, my brain is working when I have my emotions, you know, that high, because I'm trying to imagine everything, to anticipate everything, to think about the consequences of things. So I swear I thought about all of that during that moment. But in fact, no. In fact, he managed to get out Stain, and Stain intervened to stop him, to kill him, because he's against the Nomus. And that way also he's saying since the beginning that the only one who can kill him, it's gonna be All Might, because now I understand it. All Might, what All Might is doing, how he's doing it, it's representing all of what Stain is okay, you know, for the heroes, the principles and the values that he wants to, for all of the heroes to have. So I think that he's saying that about All Might, saying that All Might can be the only one to kill him, because he's gonna be the only one that is not gonna fight. But right there, seeing that handover was right there, it woke him up, all of his rage and all, because he knows how bad handover is. And it woke up really all of his rage, that hatred and all. But he was stopped, killed or not? At least stopped inside, you know, by a broken rib. Oh, they were lucky right there. I'm sorry, but that's the case. They saw right there that Deku was there, but yes, Stain saved Deku. Because Deku, what he said, you know, during the previous episode, Stain heard that and understood that Deku is one of the good, you know, the heroes who are doing stuff according to principles and values which are fitting with what he wants. Grand Torino, how we reacted seeing Deku right there. Handover, for sure he's a good hero in the sense of he's a good fighter, and his quirk is great, and he's using his quirk well, and he managed, you know, to fight all of these Nomus really well, and I can see it and I can say it. But doesn't mean that I'm gonna be impressed, I'm gonna admire the guy. Nope! Not at all. I can't. Okay, he's a good fighter, his quirk is great, but the man is an asshole. So no, I'm not gonna admire him. That was exhausting. This episode was truly exhausting for me. I'm really feeling like, And you know, I have the time right now to watch one more episode, but I'm wondering because I'm really feeling, yes, exhausted. That's really the word for it, exhausted. Iida understood a lot of things during this fight. You know, he said that he was sorry to his friends and that was great. And he understood all of the things about not going on a personal revenge, you know, being focused on protecting people. But I really hope that he understood also things that I said earlier about the fact that he has to be a hero for himself, to not take the name of his brother and to be him, you know, the hero that him is supposed to be. Like Todoroki doesn't have to build himself against his father, Iida, you don't have to build yourself like your brother. You can admire him, you can take him as an example. You can do everything like him if you want, but you have to find yourself. I really hope that he understood that also, or that at some point he's gonna understand it. Oh, I'm thinking, you know, when all of the other students are gonna learn about what these three did, I hope that they're gonna be proud of them. I can already imagine that Tsu, she's gonna say something cool, Ochako, she's gonna be worried. And she can, because Iida was badly hurt right there. So many times. At so many places. Recovery girl is gonna take care of them. I think that I'm gonna watch one more episode just, you know, to move on, to have the consequences of this fight, you know, to have more informations, but also to move on, you know, to release my mind. I don't know how to say it in another way, but you know, just to release my mind, to calm everything right there, because everything right there is still like that, you know. Okay, full reaction part for this episode on my Patreon for sure. If you want my reactions to the next episodes, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can come on my Patreon also for that. You're gonna have the reaction videos for the 4 next episodes. No matter what, it's all for you and for me for this video, so it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.